Welcome to my court, everyone. So, I hear you'd like to be a king or queen. Well, in order to do that, you're going to have to understand the lifestyle trees. Today, we're going to do a in-depth look of each of the lifestyle trees and the top 5 perks in each, except for one. I'm going to pick on one. One I could only come up with 4, where the rest of them I could at least find top 5, and some honorable mentions that I thought were worth chatting about. So let's dive into the subject, and before you do that, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. All right, so we're going to start off the diplomacy tree first. And the diplomacy tree is a really fun tree to go down, and there are a lot of amazing traits here. And just because it's diplomacy focused doesn't mean that you're going to be at peace with everybody. There are lots of ways to go to war with, especially the diplomat tree. Yeah, it's a very fun tree, and there's a lot of good things coming from here. The first perk that I'm going to go through is a bit of an honorable mention. If this was higher up in the tree, so it took less to get to it, it would be probably in the top 5. But just outside the top 5 is Life of Glory. Level of Fame Impact plus 100%. This is going to allow you to increase your level of fame here. So rather than Secular Opinion being plus 30 on Living Legend, it's going to be plus 60. Rather than plus 4 nights, it'll be plus 8 nights. So yeah, Life of Glory is definitely one. If you're going down the August tree, definitely want to get it. It's definitely a great tree. It's just, it takes so long to get down here that there's a lot of other things that are more important than this perk here in other trees for most of your ruler's lifespan. All right, next up is going to be True Ruler. True Ruler is another fun perk. True Ruler is going to just push you across the board of a lot of people accepting vassalization from you without them needing you to be their rightful liege. And that is important, right? So if they are your same religion or culture, you can definitely vassalize people with this True Ruler. So this is a nice perk to get if you're just looking to expand your borders without much war and within your religion. I would definitely get True Ruler. Next up is going to be Flexible Truces. So when this is again, you want to make sure that when you're going and you're conquering, especially if you have that Warmonger trait, this with Warmonger, ooh, that's a very nice combination. This is going to shorten your truces and give you no prestige penalty for breaking them. Though I believe that there may be still a fame penalty for this. I don't grab this that often, but this is definitely a fun perk to get if you're attacking the same kingdom over and over and over again. This combined with your foreign affairs on your council will definitely help things out. All right, next up is one of those things that sometimes you just pop in here to get. It's easy to get if you need to come in here. This is one of the 2 traits that you just want to get. And the other trait is actually not on this list, though I will mention it here. Befriend. Befriend is in the 3rd spot here for me, and this is great if you're looking to handle a lot of factions in your realm. Befriending your powerful vassals is a nice way to prevent them from joining factions. So definitely befriend it. This does have a negative to it though, because when they die, you gain stress, which is a bit of a problem. The other one, sometimes you jump in here just to get his groom to rule. I don't think that this is anywhere near the top 6 in here. So, but befriend definitely is. All right, now the number 2 perk in here, and I had a hard time. I had a hard time with this one. This one, situational. This one, as you move through building your kingdom and building your realm, this one really becomes so powerful, and it's so easy to get. I just had the number 1 spot. What it gives you is it just barely edges it out, and that's a Patronian Guard. This is amazing. Like, absolutely, it seems not that great, right? Only 2% per night, 20%, right? Well, no. If you're building your realm well, you can use this perk to quite quickly accelerate your new heirs through fame, which will help stabilize your kingdom, get you more knights really fast. On my current ruler here, my lovely, I believe she's 73. I was about to say 72. 73-year-old. I am currently getting 82% prestige. So just to give you an idea, I'm getting 30 prestige per month with this ruler, and I believe that it's about a third of it when I got this perk was coming from Patronian Guard, and I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. You all know me. I pronounce things terribly. All right. Next up, the number 1 perk. This one, if you're coming in here, you have tons of gold, you need this. This is one of those perks that it's just, if you have the opportunity, grab it. Don't wreck your entire kingdom or your entire realm. Why do I keep on saying kingdom today? Don't wreck your entire realm for trying to get this perk. But if you have the opportunity like I had here, come for it. And that's writing history. Writing history is amazing because it gives you renown. And it's only a bit of renown. Usually I get about 75 renown per time that I write this. I believe that it's every 3 years you can write this. Clearly I'm wrong, and it's 10 years. So every 10 years you're able to write a history, right? And it's only 75 renown. It's not huge, but the fact that that's going into your renown, that's the fact that you get more legacy perks from that. Yeah, you definitely, this is probably number 1, though situationally, this is just, the Patronian Guard is probably a better all-around perk, but because this gives you renown, I had to edge this out just slightly. Yeah, the diplomacy tree is definitely a fun one. If you're coming in here, I highly recommend that you give it a try. It's one of my, while I don't play it a lot, I definitely enjoy it. I have a ton of fun every time I come in here. Unlike a fellow tea drinking creator who's British, who recommends that you come down here, I don't recommend coming down this far. Honestly, as long as you're coming down to these two, that's really all you need in family hierarchy. I don't recommend this side at all. The sides that I recommend is the Gust just pumps you full of ton of prestige, and Diplomat really allows you to declare wars and force people to do what you want. It's really not a diplomat tree. Well, a warmongering diplomat. All right, next up, we have the martial lifestyle. Martial lifestyle is pretty fun. It's decent. I want it to be more fun, and I want it to be more decent. I don't use that this often. As you can tell, the 73-year-old, not using her. Not using this at all. I'm getting that 82% prestige with no King's Guard, right? So yeah, there's a lot of other ways that you can do things in the other trees that are better for your military than the martial lifestyle, which is kind of a bit disappointing. So the first 2 would be the honorable mentions. The honorable mentions I'm going to give here are the Serve the Crown. Natural Dread is amazing. The growth is all right, not that big of a deal, but definitely can help you out in your earning of gold in your realm. And the Stalwart Leader, if you are leading your armies, this is good. But if you're not leading your armies, then usually you have other better things to do unless you're on a crusade. Then yeah, you don't really want to be leading your armies. You'd rather be at home, hosting your feasts, doing that sort of thing. So yeah, this one's situational. That's why it's honorable mention. This is just if you need the dread and you want it's a baseline, then this is a nice perk, and you're in here anyways, then maybe get it. But yeah, it's definitely not one that I would say is top 5. But let's move into the top 5. So despite this, because this takes so much to get, this is why it's number 5. Otherwise, it'd be really good. And that's Peacemaker. Peace acceptance plus 10 is awesome, but the fact that you have to go through this side of the tree, of the Gallant tree, is why it's number 5. It just takes too much. These aren't that great of perks. Giving you a bit of spoiler that none of these are are in our top 5. But yeah, because you had to go to this side, then yeah, Peacemaker isn't the best trait. The next up is Hard Rule. Hard Rule comes in number 4, and the reason why that this comes in is not because of the Dread gain, not because of the siege progress, but only because of the faction military power threshold for vassals plus 20. This, you want this, and this, if you are having problems with your faction, coming down here and quickly coming here, getting some natural dread, and then coming in here and getting this threshold, increased threshold, can really give you that extra time you need to stabilize your realm. Now for number 3, and no surprise here, this is in the Gallant tree, and it is King's Guard. +4 knights is just awesome. It doesn't take much to get down here, only 4 traits, and these are decent traits, right? The only one that is, this one's all right. This is probably the weakest of them all, unless you're not a martial leader, then this is the weakest of them all. But yeah, these are decent traits, so King's Guard is definitely a solid pickup, and something that if don't have anything else I need to do in the other trees, yeah, I might pop in here and grab King's Guard, and I do it quite often, especially early on in my kingdom when I need those extra knights. All right, now I'm going to mispronounce this, but this is critical. This is, and if I didn't have so much prestige coming in on this ruler, and I didn't have the ability to do Holy Wars, and I wasn't making a ton of money, to the point where I can't do anything, I would grab this. I am kind of actually surprised, looking back at the playthrough that we did here, that I do not have this perk. And I'm going to mispronounce it, almost guaranteed, but Bellum Justum. Minus 50% Casa Belli cost will really make you accelerate those wars that you need to get into. So yeah, this is something that is amazing, and it is something that will allow you to just keep on conquering your neighbors, expanding your realm, and basically just it makes it so that you can actually expand. Otherwise, you get into a situation where you can't expand fast enough, and your neighbors expand or take the land from you, or other people come in and take your neighbors. So yeah, this is definitely something that you want to get if you're in the military or the martial tree, and you're struggling with prestige generation. And the number 1 perk, and I was tempted about this. I went back and forth between King's Guard on this, but King's Guard only gives you 4 knights. This affects all of your knights, and that's chivalric dominance, knight effectiveness plus 75% on all your knights. So this is going to take a 10 prestige, or sorry, 10 prowess knight to a 17.5 prowess knight. Doing that across all of your knights just changes the war, right? So this is the most powerful perk in the entire martial lifestyle. Now, if you noticed in the martial lifestyle, everything that I said here was actually kind of low, other than Peacemaker on the trees. And that's because I don't come in here that often to come low. I strategist early on. I thought that this was a good tree, and then I discovered that it's not actually that great. Overseer, if I need control, I'll come in here once in a while just to get absolute control. That's good. But often I don't need that, right? Often I'm being proactive on my control. I'm preventing the sieges of my realm. I'm trying to make sure that my people are happy with me. I'm converting them. If they're not happy, if they're not my religion and my culture, I convert them, right? So this is only if you're not maintaining your realm properly. And then the Gallant tree is the one that is the nice tree, but there's so many wasted perks on this side that you just don't need, and I just don't like. So yeah, I rarely get Gallant at all. Most often when I come into the martial tree, I'll grab down to King's Guard, and I will grab the Bellum Justum, just so that I can get cheaper wars. All right, now I don't know which one is the number 1 tree. or number one lifestyle. But this is definitely has a solid case for the number one lifestyle in the entire game, and that's stewardship. And when I first started playing CK3, I had no clue how powerful all the traits are in here, and I had no clue. I just thought, oh well, stewardship sport. It really isn't. But let's go through the perks that are really, really good in here, because it is there is basically perks that you want, and the rest doesn't really matter, right? So that's the thing about this is half of the lifestyle is good, and unfortunately, there's probably spoilers on the screen. All right, so the honorable mention here is the centralization. So this is going to give you development growth in your realm capital. I really struggled with this. When you're doing long playthroughs, this is amazing, right? This is going to really accelerate your realm capital and increase those long-term taxes you're going to get for your later rulers. So yeah, this is good. I just could not put it into the top 5, unfortunately. The number 5, and this is something that I get often, but it's something that I usually come back to stewardship for, and that's war profiteer. If you're in a lot of wars, this can really offset the cost of your men-at-arms and your levies, and ideally you're not even raising your levies. With proper martial or military strategy, you can really dominate armies 6-7 times your size easily, with just your men-at-arms. So ideally you don't need your war profiteer, or ideally you don't need your levies, and you're just offsetting your men-at-arms, so it makes the war cheaper. But yeah, if you do, but definitely no matter what, this is giving you a lot. And if you're in war, do you know what? Even if you don't need to offset it, you're just getting a ton of money, right? So 10% is pretty good. All right, next up at number 4, and that is cutting cornerstones. And yeah, this is definitely a solid one. Always when you're coming down the architect tree, the first one you want to grab, this is just going to accelerate your building of your holdings. And then we have right below that, professional works force. Again, same as cutting cornerstone. This is hand in hand. You want these right away. Generally, if I come down architect, I drive down to centralization, and then I come down the other side, because this side isn't the side that I usually like. This is the less ideal side of the tree, because you're never collecting taxes. Fort level is decent, not necessary. This could help you out though, depends on your situation. Levy reinforcement, wait, as I said, I'm not raising levies anyways, so meh. All right, next up, architect. Architect gives you +2 stewardship, and really adds on to your cutting cornerstones and professional workforce. So awesome perk. And I was debating whether this was number 1 or number 2. But after thinking about it for a bit, I was like, no, this is really not close to the most powerful perk in this lifestyle. There's a perk that is, in my opinion, close to one of the best perks in all of the lifestyles period, and that's divided attention. +2 domain limit. This gives you 2 extra castles. This gives you, depending on what those castles are, 6 buildings if they're just baronies, 4+ potential duchy and special buildings if it's a county capital. So yeah, this is definitely a clear-cut number 1. As soon as you get divided attention, things start accelerating for you, and you really can snowballing some of those building bonuses that you get that can affect your men-at-arms, that can affect your knights that you're getting, that can affect your gold coming in, and really accelerate you versus your neighbors. All right, so stewardship. This is probably the lifestyle that I play tied for the most, or honestly, I played both of them the exact same amount of time, because most of the time I drop into stewardship and the other lifestyle. But before we move on to the one that, in my opinion, rivals Stewardship in terms of importance, we're going to go to the one that I never play. And I could only come up with 4 perks in here that I actually like. And that's Intrigue. I want this to be so good. All the videos, all the sponsorship were all the hype of the game was around the intrigue and everything like that. And just nothing in here is great. I couldn't even do a number 5, let alone an honorable mention. So let's start off at number 4, and that is Twice Schemed. If you're coming down here and you're looking to do a lot of schemes, you're looking to have a ruler that's a serial killer, Twice Schemed is a must. And it is fun every once in a while to drop in and have a serial killer. I had one ruler when I was doing the Mother of Us All achievement, where we killed every single Byzantine Empire that came to rule while they were alive. I think we had a total of 59 kills by the end of that. By the end of that ruler's life. They weren't all Byzantines. I had some issues, and I had to start killing barons within my realm that I couldn't get rid of them. But that's because I misunderstood the achievement. That being said, on to number 3, and that is Kidnapper. This can be really powerful. The exploit has been nerfed, where you can use Kidnapper to steal realms. This would, if that wasn't nerfed, this would clearly be an obvious number 1 in the entire game, because you can steal entire realms, right? Right, you can go in and win wars like that. Clear number 1. It needed to be nerfed, but yeah, abduction scheme is still a powerful option. Yeah, this is something that if you're coming down here, definitely fun to do, definitely fun to have, even if you're just looking for gold or looking for new courtiers, right? Maybe you want to kidnap a really nice knight, right? That would be awesome. Kidnap them and then recruit them. All right, next up for number 2, Truth is Relative. If this is something that, if you have some time and you have nothing else to do in any of the other 4 trees, which is rare for me, or you need a hook on someone, you really need a hook, then yeah, definitely come in here, grab this. Generally you can get 3 perks every time you come in here, so I would definitely come in here and grab this one, and then I would pop down to Kidnapper if I was coming in here, and those would be 3 perks that I would grab if I was just popping in here and I wasn't coming in dedicating into the lifestyle. If I am dedicating to the lifestyle, I am going to do with the number 1 perk, and usually a number 1, unless it is insanely good, like over in Stewardship, and there are a lot of perks that support it, wouldn't be this low or wouldn't be this high. But despite that, Forever Infamous, despite everything that you have to go through here, one of the worst perks in the game, one that is fun but really just causes you more problems than you need, is the Forever Infamous. The Dread Decay minus 1000% is awesome. Just frankly, I've had this a couple times, and you get 100 dread and then you just never ever lose it unless you do something to lose it. So yeah, this is something. Forever Infamous is if you want to come down the Intrigue tree, is one that I definitely recommend, because people are kind of going to hate you if you're coming down the Intrigue tree, especially if those secrets come out. All right, now for the Learning Tree. This is a really good tree. Situationally, it is better than Stewardship. Situationally, it's not as good as Stewardship. In my realm situation, it's nowhere near as good as Stewardship. But let's go through the traits. I couldn't find an honorable mention here, but I did definitely find top 5. And the first one that I would go for is the Zealous Proselytizer. Maybe I got that right. Yeah, generally I'm converting everybody to my faith. If you haven't accepted the One True Terms of Services, you definitely should. If you don't know what that is, maybe you should check out my stream. But before you do that, hit that like button. All right. Actually did one of those hit the like buttons properly within the video. That's been a while since I did that. All right. This is really good. It's just going to accelerate you converting your realm, especially if you're stuck with a really bad bishop. Yeah, and we've all been there. You can't murder your bishop. You can't get rid of him. You can't banish him and steal his gold. Then this is something that could definitely help you out. Next up, and if you are in a feudal society and you're not a warmonger, this moves from number 4 to number 1 instantly, and that is sanctioned loopholes. Being able to buy claims on other realms just gives you a sink into your piety, which, depending on what you're doing, if you're not doing holy wars, which if you need this, you're probably not doing holy wars, and you have other goals. If you are trying to attack, fabricating claims is not fast enough and is expensive, and there are better things for your gold. Sanctioned loophole gives you a sink for your piety, and it gives you claims right away that you don't have to worry about them. You just start attacking. So yeah, the sanctioned loopholes is definitely a strong one. Number 4, because it is that situational, and you can always reform your religion to get warmonger if you'd like that. Next up, we have planned cultivation. This is something that will help you long term. Highly recommend it. If you are doing a multi-generational ruler or a multi-generational playthrough, this is definitely something that you want. This is going to help you. You're constantly going to be doing development in your county or in your holdings, so you want to continue doing this, and you want this perk. And honestly, it's just one of those that you should probably, no matter what lifestyle your ruler is, at some point during their lifetime span, probably soon, you should make a quick goal in your current lifestyle, whichever one it is, and then come down and grab this perk, just so that you're accelerating your realm development, right? This is one of those perks in here that you should grab right away. All right, the next one is the scientific. Again, just like the planned cultivation, scientific is one that you want, and no matter what your lifestyle is, if you're the cultural head, you almost need this. The number 1 perk here that'll set your next ruler up with the most optimized amount of traits or skills that they can have, and that is pedagogy. Yeah, this one is an amazing perk. This is something that you should come in here and grab. Your wards can get additional skills, and they'll become your friends. They're less likely to murder you. Yeah, you don't. I'm not really worried about the friends part, but the getting additional skills, this is regular. Every time since I started grabbing this, I've noticed that this is not quite a yearly thing, but it almost seems like a yearly thing. That's how often that my wards are getting their additional skills. So this is something that you want, and you definitely want to pop in here. And because it's so powerful, and because it is so early in the tree, that's why it jumped up quite fast for me. An honorable mention here. I know it said I did not have an honorable mention, but I did think about one while I was in here. and that's profit. Monthly piety per night is all right. Just like the diplomacy one, you can get ridiculous amounts with that. But you don't really need piety. If you have sanctioned loopholes, you do. But why I really like this perk is because faith creation and reformation cost minus 50%. So that is something that you definitely want to grab if you are trying to reform your faith. This is a must if you're trying to reform your faith. And that extra piety, if you're trying to buy claims, yeah, definitely one of them. But I think I'm going to leave it there. But I think that's it for tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please feel free to hit that like and subscribe button. I had a lot of fun going through this and trying to figure out all my favorite traits in here. And yeah, it is amazing how from my first playthrough to how I play now, how things have changed. Even looking back a couple months, I have changed my play style so much in the last couple months, and it is quite optimized at this point for the perks that I have laid out here. And of course, before I let you go, I'll put up a video here of me going through the tutorial in this game and conquering Ireland and showing how you can do it actually pretty fast. I know that I read on Reddit that a lot of people struggle with that, so definitely check that out. Otherwise, good morning, good day, or good night, wherever you are.